Mitchell Renz here from NFL Daily. Let's get into the top 25 NFL free agents after players that signed their franchise tag, after Dak Prescott signed his big contract. We got a brand new top 25 list. Before I get into all those names, let's run through some of these players here. Dak Prescott signed a big-time deal, 4 years, $160 million, with $126 million guaranteed. Now, this was a deal that I thought was going to happen, but Dak Prescott has been the number one free agent on our videos for basically 2 straight years, and that is no longer the case. So as soon as this happened, I was like, okay, I get to make a brand new top 25 list. Some other players, though, that you're not going to see here, they were franchise tagged. Leonard Williams, Brandon Scherf, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin. A lot of these players obviously were very high on the list as well. Cam Robinson, he's going to make an appearance, and that was actually a move I was pretty surprised about. Taylor Mott, Justin Simmons, Marcus May, and Marcus Williams. So a lot of safeties here, a lot of offensive linemen as well. So you saw Dak Prescott and 9 players, they were franchise tagged. So go ahead, subscribe to Chat Sports right now if you're looking for NFL free agency updates all offseason long. Right now it's free agency, and when some of these players start signing, we're going to be making videos about it. We're going to be going live during the free agency deadline. We're going to be breaking everything down for y'all, so I guarantee you this. If you like our NFL draft coverage, last year we were the #1 most watched free agency show on YouTube. We're going to be it again. So go ahead and subscribe. Don't miss anything. Turn on those notifications because when a player like, I don't know, Kenny Golladay signs, we're going to be going live. Speaking of Kenny Golladay, he's #1 on my list here of top NFL free agents after the franchise tag deadline. I love me some Kenny Golladay. Was really surprised that the Detroit Lions ultimately didn't decide to bring him back, but oh well, they're going to go a different route. They brought in a guy named Tyrell Williams. So for me, he is the top receiver now that Allen Robinson has been tagged, now that Chris Godwin has been tagged. Sure, he missed most of last season with injuries, but when healthy, he is a legit #1 wide receiver. Look at his numbers in 2019. 1,190 yards and 11 touchdowns on 65 catches. If you could put Kenny on a legit team like, I don't know, with Aaron Rodgers, oh my goodness, good luck stopping him. He is a phenomenal red zone option, and he is still pretty young. The #2 player here in my top NFL free agents, it's Trent Williams, offensive tackle from the San Francisco 49ers. I actually thought that he was 100% going to go back to the 49ers. Still a little bit questionable here. Older, but the top left tackle, he is still on the market, and obviously that does bring a lot of value. So I am also a believer that this is probably going to be his last chance of getting a big-time contract. 32 years old, 14 games last year, 4 sacks allowed. He's #2 on my list. Let's go to the defensive side of the football now here. I got Shaq Barrett, outside linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs tagged Godwin. They signed Lavonte David to a 2-year, $25 million deal, which means Shaq Barrett, I don't know if they're going to be able to bring him back. This is a player who is very good at being able to get after the quarterback. He had 8 sacks last year, double-digit sacks the year before that. One of the biggest reasons why the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. He's #3 on my list. Let's go to #4 here, Yannick Ngakoue. Some of you are going to be sitting here like, wow, that's really high for Yannick. I like Ngakoue a lot. He is a player that can stop the run. He's a player that can get after the quarterback, and he's still not even 26 years old. And the fact that he's had at least 8 sacks in all 5 of his seasons, you know what you're going to get. I understand that he wanted that at Jacksonville, and that he went to the Vikings, and then he went to the Ravens, and he was bouncing around. That's tough to do, and I actually think that actually did really hinder his performance. But I know that he is a freak athlete, can fit in a lot of different schemes, and he's a young player. That's why he's ultimately #4 on my list. So what I want you guys to do right now is shout out who your favorite NFL team is. And the reason why I want to know is because here in a little bit, I'm going to ask you another question. So don't go anywhere because it does pertain to this right here. So start spamming in the chat. I want to see who's repping here the hardest. I want you to shout out your favorite NFL team. #5 on my top NFL free agents after the tag deadline is Aaron Jones. He's the top running back on the board. 30 touchdowns the past 2 seasons. He is easily, and I mean easily, the top running back in my opinion. Versatile, can catch the football, can run between the tackles. Over 47 catches in back-to-back years. Last season, 9 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards on 200 carries. 26 years old. I am curious to see what type of contract he gets ultimately, but he is a very talented running back. If you're curious about some other videos that we have put together here, maybe top running backs, go check it out on the channel. Not only are we keeping you up to date on the latest NFL news and rumors, we make videos like this every single week. So if you want to see the top free agent running backs, I go from 1 all the way down to 10 and sprinkle in a few other names as well. Please go check that out. It's on the channel. Number 6 here on my list is William Jackson. He's the top corner this year on the free market. I know a lot of people might say Richard Sherman. I thought I'm going to go with William Jackson instead. They decided to play Trey Wayne's big money last year, which means Jackson leaves. Sure, he's battled some injuries the past season and in the past as well, but when he is fully healthy, you can clearly see that he is a no doubt number 1 corner. 28 years old, 45 tackles last year, 11 pass breakups, and 1 interception. We're going to go back to the offensive line here. I got Joe Thuney. He's number 7 offensive guard from the New England Patriots. He's the top left guard on the market. I think he's going to make somewhere around between $13 to $14 million. Never missed a game in his 5-year career. Number 8 here on my list is Anthony Harris, and with Justin Simmons being franchise tagged, this makes Anthony Harris the number 1 safety in my opinion. He is a player that is no doubt can create plays. Probably a top 3 safety for the past 3 seasons. 6 interceptions in 2019. Sure, he didn't have any last year, but even the year before that, he had 3 interceptions in 2018. I think the 0 INTs is a little bit more of a fluke. So if you're looking for a top safety out there, Anthony Harris is definitely got to keep in mind. We're going to go with speedster Will Fuller from the Houston Texans. Sure, he's coming off a suspension, had some PED issues, but you can't deny the talent. Like, when this guy is able to stay healthy, he is a just speed demon, can really stretch it out there, and if the Texans want to try to keep Deshaun Watson happy, maybe you figure out a way to bring in Will Fuller. The absolute dream scenario, though, I actually think for Fuller, would him going to the Green Bay Packers. We're going to stick at the wide receiver position here. JuJu Smith-Schuster. He is a good receiver. I don't know if he's a true number 1. When he had Antonio Brown, 111 catches, 1,400 yards. When he didn't have Antonio Brown, the numbers have gone down. You could put the blame on Ben Roethlisberger, but JuJu is young, and he's got a lot of experience, and he's only 24 years old. So who do you think is the better receiver here, Will Fuller or JuJu Smith-Schuster? I want you to type WF for Fuller or type JJ for JuJu. So if you could guarantee me that Will Fuller is going to stay healthy, I'll say Fuller. If you could tell me which player do I think has a better chance of playing 16 games, I'll go JuJu. We're going to stick here with the Green Bay, with the Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker Bud Dupree. He's battling an injury. He's coming off an ACL tear, but he is a great player, being able to get after the quarterback. The question is, was he really good because of how good the Steelers' defense is, or could he be good without being in Pittsburgh? Let's go to the tight end position now. Hunter Henry, he is probably the top tight end. Some other people might say it's Jonnu Smith. I'm going to stick here with Henry. He's definitely had some injury issues in the past, but he can block, he can catch the football, and even though he's never played a full 16-game season in 5 years, he is an all-around, do-it-all tight end. That's why he's number 12 here on my list, and that's why he's over a guy like Jonnu Smith here from top to bottom. All right, y'all, we got St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, and if you're looking for some new NFL gear, go to chatsports.com/NFL gear. We created a new link because we got new St. Patrick's Day gear. You guys liked it so much. We had things going off the shelves. We had to get some new stuff. We got t-shirts. We got long sleeve. We have hats. We have socks. There's women's hoodies. There's children's t-shirts. I mean, you need a long sleeve shirt. I can't even begin to tell you. We have so much green. We're starting to look like Snoop Dogg's house. If you get the joke, like the video. Chatsports.com/NFL green. I want y'all to have a good time on St. Patrick's Day, but I also want you to go ahead and rep your favorite NFL team, and this is the easiest way to do it. A lot of this stuff is on sale. Not all of it's on sale. If you want to find out what is on sale, all you got to do, go to the link that y'all see below. It's in the comments. It's in the description. Chatsports.com/NFL green. We're going to go now to the only quarterback on the list. It's Ryan Fitzmagic here. And Dak Prescott, he signed his big deal. And the reason why Fitzmagic is cracking my top 25 list, and the reason why he's 13, the quarterback position, it matters. And he had a good year last year. I believe he was top 5 in the NFL in terms of QBR, 76.5, which is very respectable. If you want to see some other top quarterbacks on the free agent market, I made a video, my top 10. As a reminder, Dak Prescott, he's going to be number 1 in this video. He is no longer on the free agency market. So if you want to check out the other top 9 quarterbacks on the market, seriously, subscribe and go ahead down to this link here, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 14, it's Richard Sherman, cornerback from San Francisco 49ers. Does he try to go play safety? Does he stick at corner? It is interesting. He says he wants to play 2 more years, but there's going to be a lot of teams out there looking for him. Number 15, the center here, Corey Linsley. I actually like Corey Linsley a lot. Top center on the market. Probably been a top 10 center the last 3 seasons. Top to bottom, very consistent. He's 31 years old. There's going to be a lot of teams looking for Linsley. Let's now get into number 16 on my list. I got Jon Johnson, safety from the Los Angeles Rams. Definitely built to be more of a center fielder, if you will. Entering his prime at just 25 years old. When I really think about his upside, he can be a top 3 safety. And in fact, in 2018 and in 2019, I think he was a top 3 safety in the National Football League. 2019, this dude struggled, but it was really only because he was battling some injuries. So if you can get a healthy Jon Johnson, you're going to be really happy. Let's go to Desmond King here, cornerback from the Titans. He was great with the Chargers coming up. Battled, we'll say, some inconsistency. And there's a lot of people that don't really know how good Desmond King is, because when you go back and watch some of his tape with the Chargers in 2018, 2019, you're like, wow, this guy's one of the best cornerbacks in football. Then you're like, well, there's a lot of talent there. Then he goes to the Titans, doesn't have as good of a year. I still believe that Desmond King is a good cornerback. It's just ultimately, how good is he? He's number 17 on my list. Carl Lawson might be one of the most underrated defensive ends in the National Football League, and I almost feel like he's too low, and I even made this list. He is a great player. I know he didn't put up good numbers last year for the Bengals. That was the Bengals' fault. You remember what happened with Carlos Dunlap? Dunlap hit the market, goes to the Seahawks, and was great. I think that's ultimately what would happen with a guy like Carl Lawson. So remember earlier when I said shout out your favorite team? Well, now I want you to let me know who should your favorite team go out and sign. So I'm going to be looking in the comments. I'm going to be trying to figure out who your favorite team is, and then I want to know who you want your favorite team to go out and sign. I know we always have a lot of Seahawks fans here in the live chat and in our chats in general here at Chat Sports. That's a lot of chats. Shaquille Griffin, he's number 19, cornerback from the Seahawks. He's a great player when fully healthy, battled some injuries in 2020, absolutely elite in 2019, continuing to get better each and every season. The top defensive tackle, I believe, right now on the market is Dalvin Tomlinson, because Leonard Williams, who was actually, funny enough, Tomlinson's teammate, he was franchise tagged by the New York Giants. If you're going to be a team that goes out and get Tomlinson, I'm anticipating probably like $14, $13 million type of deal. He's a great run stopper, also decent against the pass, but he is not quite as good as Leonard Williams, but he is good enough to make my top 25 list. If you guys hate my top 25 list and you want to yell at me, the easiest place to do that is on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. If you like what we do here at Chat Sports, if you think that I missed somebody, please, there's a lot of players in the National Football League, believe it or not. My DMs are open for a reason. Hit me up on IG, Mitchell Renz 365. Back to the wide receiver position here. It's Corey Davis from Tennessee. He's coming off his best year of his career, over 900 receiving yards. Also threw in 5 touchdowns. Now, apparently, he wants to go back to Tennessee, and Tennessee wants him. But really, what do you expect him to say? I don't know if he's ever going to live up to the hype of the number 5 overall pick in 2020 and 2017, because A.J. Brown has surpassed him as the number 1 receiver there. But he is a good overall pass catcher, and he can also block. So for me, I'm one of these believers that he's going to get another chance, but I don't know if you're going to make him a true number 1 receiver. Matthew Judon, edge rusher from the Baltimore Ravens. Back-to-back years, he's making our top 25 list. A good edge rusher, a decent linebacker. However, I do worry that a team is going to overpay for him. 23, Patrick Peterson. Can you get prime-time Patrick Peterson? No. And I know we've done some other free agent videos out there where he's been a lot higher. I worry that the best is in the rear view, and you're going to have to pay more for the name than what you actually can get. Like, if you got to pay Patrick Peterson the same amount of money you're going to pay William Jackson, I'm going to say that you're losing out there. So I like Peterson a lot, but it does worry me where we could be looking at a player next year where you're like, okay, I get that fact that he had 3 interceptions, 8 pass breakups, 61 tackles, but he's over the age of 30. And if I really think about a player who I could be going back and looking at saying, yeah, he kind of ripped the team off, it does actually, Patrick Peterson unfortunately comes to my mind. Now, here's a name that's been on Chat Sports shows for a long time at the free agent market, Jadeveon Clowney. He was not very good with the Titans, no doubt about that. Has never had a season with 10-plus sacks. He bet on himself last year, and he failed. I think this year he's going to wake up a little bit, realize that, okay, he needs to be a little bit more reasonable in terms of what he's asking for in terms of a contract, but he's 24 on my list. At 25, it's Leonard Floyd, another player that's coming off a career year, career high in pressures, career high in sacks, 10.5. I'm not going to pay him, though, a player that gets 10.5 sacks. That ain't going to happen again. He's a good defensive end who can also drop back into coverage. Somebody, I don't know, does remind me a little bit of Kyle Van Noy, so keep that in mind. So here are my top NFL free agents. Kenny Golladay, he's number 1. Trent Williams is number 2. Shaq Barrett, number 3. Yannick Ngakoue, Aaron Jones, they round out my top 5. Here, William Jackson, cornerback number 6. Love me some Joe Thuney, Anthony Harris, and then back-to-back wide receivers Will Fuller and JuJu Smith-Schuster. We're going to continue to cycle through these. If you made it this far in the video, just know that I appreciate you. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be breaking down a whole bunch of free agency moves. We're going to be live during free agency, so as soon as players sign, we're going to be breaking it all down for you. So make sure you got those notifications turned on. Make sure you're not missing any shows here at Chat Sports. We go live every single Monday and Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific.